If you can state your name and your media organization, please.
Hello, good morning. Tony Sanchez, San Diego Punto Football. Just first of all, congratulations, but I want to just get the insight on how you plan on marrying and managing your style of analytics in soccer with the intangibility in the nature of the sport, and also what's next on the roster building. Patty McNair is here. You have that defensive veteran. What's coming up next for you?
Yeah, thanks, Tony. I think soccer as a sport, right? Analytics has boomed in other areas. It's boomed in baseball. It boomed in basketball. And soccer is such a unique sport, and it's very low scoring. So data isn't always the easiest things to use. And the way I look at it is, I grew up in finance, and the way you make investments is to try to use information to make better decisions, and it's the same in football. So any times that you can try to minimize risk and make sure that obviously you can have a better idea, but obviously context comes into all of that. So it's about combining those two things, I think, which is really important. And the way I've always positioned myself in this sport is that how do we get as much information as possible so we're making intelligent decisions, but also marrying that with the context that is so crucial and important in football. And in terms of a squad build, look, we're active at the moment. We're doing a lot of monitoring, a lot of stuff that probably you guys don't see in the media, but that's what we need to do as an expansion side. We obviously need to prepare for the expansion draft. We know that a large contingency of our players will come from MLS just based on the rules of an expansion team. But we're also, similar to how we signed Patty, we're looking for opportunities in the market. And he became an opportunity. He's somebody that really wanted to explore outside of England. And I think he saw the value of what we were trying to do here. And I think he fits a lot of what we're looking for in a center back. A ball-playing one, a modern-day one that can step into midfield if he needs to. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, so he checks a lot of boxes in terms of what we're looking for from an expansion side. Okay. We're very close, as I mentioned, on a head coach, and so it's about building out that staff to make sure that we have the right people surrounding myself as well as this organization. So that's first and foremost, as well as we have our recruitment efforts up and running. So we're doing a lot of monitoring of players, trying to find what opportunities exist in the market, as well as making sure that we're prepared for December for the expansion draft and the NCAA draft and a number of other mechanisms of how we'll acquire players.
So this is almost like a Moneyball approach with your background in analytics and computer science. So what does that aspect seem untouched and untapped in football and world football in general?
Yeah, look, there's been no secrets that some teams have had a lot of success in this area, and that's obviously in other sports as well as football with Liverpool and some of the others in terms of how they've went in. I look at it as a balance. I think it's about efficiencies, and I think it's about are we efficient. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of players to sign, and we don't know what that team is going to look like in January. We can have an idea of what the strengths and weaknesses are, but I do think more information allows us to see how we start to fill some of those gaps. So it's about using information to find which young players are available, which contracts are attractive, etc. And so trying to combine all of that information to make our lives more efficient and to make better decisions at the end of the day.
And so we spoke earlier about Patty McNair getting that center back who plays out the back with that experience. Check, you got Chucky Lozano. Now, in order to fill out that roster, that initial idea, what are you looking for more? Are you still looking for those landmark players that are going to be leaders in the defense, midfield, attack? Or what's next to just fill those players out and identify them through the draft and expansion draft?
Yeah, look, we've done a lot of research. We do a lot of research to figure out, okay, what types of players are going to be available in the expansion draft. We've done a lot of monitoring of MLS and USL and MLS Next Pro and a number of other these leagues to try to find their opportunities there. But we have a very good spine of the team. Obviously, it's only 5 players, but I think 4 of those are going to be very big contributors for us in 2025. And so we need to continue to build on that. We are looking at other DPs at the moment. We expect to potentially have one done in the coming months. So just to continue to try to find a player that can make an impact in this league, but also resonates with San Diego, because as I mentioned there, it's important for us to have a team that looks and feels what this city wants and also deserves.
And in terms of that, with the manager coming up, what are you most likely looking into? A big name with that backing who can handle a project like this? Or does that factor in any way to what you're looking for to lead your play style?
That's a good question, and I think we've looked at all those options. I would say that in our finalists, we have different types of candidates. We have a candidate, obviously, that probably fits more of the style of play, the details type. We have a candidate that obviously is more veteran, that has experience, obviously, in leading a team in a locker room. And so, from our standpoint, it's about having those conversations with ownership and with leadership and making sure that we choose the candidate, but also surround him with the right staff. I think that's also what's really important for us is it's not just the head coach, it's also the entire staff that is working with them on a daily basis and how we make sure that that staff is successful.
Well, I'm very proud of you, Tyler Heaps. This is such a remarkable moment in your career, and you are so young already, and you have this job. I mean, it's crazy, but you've worked so hard to achieve it, and you are so well deserved. And yeah, I cannot wait to see what San Diego FC does.
And then just the dynamics just at home, more and more soccer. It's almost a soccer's delight. What is that like, just immersing yourself on the field, off the field? Your life is literally distilled to soccer.
Of course. I think we always say it, we both love the game so much, so it brought us together. This is the reason we started dating, and we would bet on soccer games back 4 years ago, and yeah, it's a calmness in our relationship. We love speaking about it, we love watching it, and yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of athletes that just don't want to take their work home, and I think we kind of do the opposite.
Breaking news that the puppy might not make it to San Diego. Is this true?
Oh, he thinks he's bringing him. He's not bringing him. That's my dog.